Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. This session will be delivered to you by Progress. My name is Ekaterina Boneva, and I am part of the sales engineering team of Progress. This session will be recorded, and after it, you will receive a follow-up emails with the materials and link to the recording. So you will be able, if whatever information might be missed, to hear it again. There's also materials at the last slide of our presentations, which you'll be able to check out after the session. And if there are some questions, we will have 10 to 15 minutes Q&A session, so feel free to ask in the chat, and then we will go through the questions right after the session. So welcome again. Today we will be talking about IT's worst nightmare, talking about the IT nightmares. For sure, the monitoring is one of the subjects, and this is the subject of today's session, monitoring proactively, and why this will be related to the IT's nightmares and how we can help in solving that. So maybe you are in a situation where everybody at the end of the day are shaking your hand and saying, thanks, my email's working fine, my uploads and downloads are going smoothly, and everything's right, thank you for the good job and whatsoever. But usually in the IT world, this does not happen a lot. So most of the times we have a different situation where something might not be working or is not working as expected from the people which are using it. IT's world is about services. Most of the people are not knowing, and is not their role or job to know how things are working. Why these Simpson pictures here? Because usually the users of the services, not knowing how they are working, have some issue. When they have some issue and this occurs, you will not want to explain, you will not want to be how to say it, a mob is something that you will not want to face. The angry mob of not having services or having a bad service is something that nobody wants to face. So trying to diagnose the problems, to fix the problems, is really a big part of the IT job, but it's not something that is working fine nowadays when we have sophisticated systems, not only to fix but to prevent problems. It's a good idea to use them in the best way. So here it says intelligence of a mob is equal to the lowest IQ of one of the people there, and multiplied to the others. Why is that? There's a famous phrase from the movie Men in Black, which says that the people are humans are dumb, panicky animals. It's a funny phrase, but it describes really what users not having a service look like. So what you will want to do is having happy users, so that you don't want to explain why something is happening or how you are going to fix this. Every people in an IT, every person in an IT field will want to prevent the issue from happening and resolve it before it comes to down to the users, whatever users they are. Is it a simple office colleague or your boss or somebody else? So having to deal with that and preventing the issues keeps you away from pitchforks and torches. it comes down to monitoring. When it comes down to monitoring, I'm sure that I'm not saying to you something which is not new, and maybe there are many people in the IT field that are like, okay, we know that, and there's nothing new there, and you're probably already using some kind of monitoring system, which is probably acting, or more than one monitoring system, which is something that happens most of the times in not so little companies. Even in a large companies, it happens a lot, having more than one system to monitor. You will, in terms of monitoring, to be able to see what's happening, you will want to have everything under control in terms of devices, in terms of physical network, everything which is connected to the network, virtual cloud, whether it's Wi-Fi, whether it's storage devices, and so on. So we are talking about the infrastructure, but not only, because one of the layers is the infrastructure monitoring. Then we are going to the applications which are running on top of the infrastructure, because you will want to have users not just saying, okay, my servers are on, my network devices are on, but the applications are slow or not working. It's not worth, it's not effective. Talking about traffic monitoring, you will want to know if something is not working because you have DDoS attack, or you just have some users watching an HD movie somewhere out there in the restroom. So this is one of the important things, and it happens. In terms of bandwidth, you will want to know if you are over consumption, or if you have some bottlenecks, and you will want to know before the bottlenecks are at that point that you have all the bandwidth on a link consumed, and then you will need to, and then you have an issue. You will want to have maybe a threshold that will alert you on a 70 or 60% of the bandwidth consumption, so that you can take actions before something happens. Monitor the device configurations. You will want to know if somebody has changed password, if some configuration of your distribution or core switch has been changed, or some of the devices are failing. Talking about routers, if some routing table has been changed, and maybe your traffic is not routed where you should, or you want to route it, or maybe some communication is lost due to configuration changes which may not be coordinated or happened. It's preventing many of the human errors which are out there, and it just piece of the reality of the IT world. In terms of logs, there are many all of the network devices generate logs. No one from the IT people wants to dig into logs, at least if we don't have to, but we have to. So monitoring logs is exactly as important as every other monitoring. So being able to look at the logs, being able maybe to see whether there's account lockout, maybe there's password, too many password attempts. Maybe we have some situations where one particular, when one of our clients has this bandwidth consumption, and due to log monitoring, it comes out that we dig down to too many password attempts from an account that should not be configured to have access to some of the resources. So monitoring logs sometimes helps you solve issues which you dig your head and maybe you have days and days trying to figure out what's happening, and just looking at the logs, it helps you figure out some really complex issues which are which come down to a simple configuration, simple misconfigurations. Having the information is not just enough, or maybe having the information is all about tools that helps you collect information, but having it at a glance in a graphical way, which you are able to see and to understand easily, helps saving time in understanding that information. There are many tools out there, which and every tool has basically the same purpose, to collect information, but then it comes down to understanding this information. Even if we go through these few points of monitoring, we will be like, okay, we gather all of this, and then how we will need days and weeks to go and dig through all of this. But having all in a dashboard in a simple way, so with 2 clicks you can see and you can fix. This is one of the things that you will want from a monitoring system. Going further is why to bother to have all of this monitoring if you will need to sit behind your desk 24/7 and looking at what's going on, even with the good fancy colorful dashboards, and having this guy or an IT guy for 24/7 behind the desk is really something that nobody will want to do. And one of the things that in the IT field is popular is that these are the people that don't want to work. That's why they develop their intelligence. It's a joke about the field, but it's really a good way to describe when somebody wants to do an intelligent, or to come up with an intelligent solution of a complex problem. So that's why we are talking about personalizing alerts, and not only having a monitoring system, not only having all the information at a glance, but then being able to act proactively, to act upon the changes of the network, the issues of the network, to predict, to prevent, and then to be alerted before things go wrong. Because it's something that everybody are repeating and everybody knows, but most of the times it comes down to just set up the things, so you can have those 5 minutes set up, and then save your entire day, or maybe more than one day of troubleshooting something that has already happened. And in the best of the situations, issues are causing problems, causing users to not be happy, but in the worst of the scenarios are really expensive. So setting thresholds for and personalizing the alerts allows you to prevent again. And then when it comes down to alerting, it's different for, let's say, you will have maybe an online store, and some of the bottlenecks are impacting your users and not be able to update their shopping cart fast, or maybe you will have a particular network design which you will come down to security, and you will want to know if something is happening, or if some attempts are before you will have to investigate something already gone wrong. Some of the threshold can be based on best practice experience, or whatever is like a business guideline for the field which you are operating at. So really it all comes down to fixing problems before the users are notice it, because that's the purpose of having an IT at first point. So knows what to blame is the Sauron here, and I think that everybody might be familiar with the movie of Lord of the Rings, having the Eye of the Sauron. Why? Because maybe every monitoring system by itself will say to you that everything's working. Maybe the Cisco monitoring system will say, okay, everything's fine, and the Dell monitoring system will say all is working good, and again another monitoring system which collects all the logs into your network will say nothing there. But then you have an application not running slow, or some file opening for 10 minutes and some users not able to upload important files, or whatever. When it comes down to the network, it's really a complex structure. So having all the statistics which are related to networks and IT are showing us that having multiple monitoring systems is not effective, and is time consuming, and is less efficient. So that's why identifying the problems with one monitoring tool to rule them all is the thing that saves time, saves effort to the team, and helps to identify the failure points, the dependencies, and also the not network info. By failure points, what's the thing behind that? So we mean that if you have a network map which allows you to see where exactly is a failure point when some issue begins, it helps you fix the issue faster, because you know exactly where the problem is, and you don't need to dig to find out which is the device which is causing the problem. Let's say you have let's say you have a loop, you have a traffic issue, you have some machine generating excessive traffic, and then it creates bottlenecks within the network. You will be able to identify exactly the machine. Maybe if you have some switch failing configuration, or some other issue, you are able to shut down the issue causing machine better than to have a really stormily happening failure. In terms of dependencies, sometimes one failing machine can cause an alert storm, not only a storm, maybe loop or something, but an alert storm, which is something that some of the network monitoring system will cause you an email issue because of the alert storm, because maybe you have 100 devices which are connected one to another and dependent one from another. And when a core device is down, you will not only have a network issue which you will need to resolve, but you will have also a system issue related to the false positives. So having a system which knows where the dependencies are, and which is able to prevent this type of dependencies alert storming, is also something that will save really huge amount of effort. And not network related issue is because sometimes we focus on network monitoring, and you just see some issue on let's say some internet facing machine is having issue, or some server which you see that is not working, or maybe there's a traffic issue going on, and before you know, you are thinking that it's a network related issue, and then after a period of time, you know that there are some thunderstorms, for example, or some totally not related circumstances that are affecting Here we have a really good example of some of our clients using custom maps, custom geo maps, which allow them to see where exactly are their devices, so to know when there are some circumstances that will impact the network but are not network related. And it's something that happens not so rare. And then we are talking about bandwidth and bandwidth hogs because it's not new thing that now we are on a webinar, but Teams and Zoom and whatever out there video streaming is available. Coming ahead in the future, we is expanding more and more as capacity, as usability, as everything which is not only user related, but it's not just a trend, it's a way of using the network nowadays. So seeing where your bandwidth is going, who is using what, is allows you to be intelligent in preventing issues and to managing the network in such a way that everything goes smoothly, whether it's your user X that is wanting to use the bandwidth in their lunch break to watch some movies, or whether it's someone that is having a conference now, and this is something that will help you identify if there is something really consuming the bandwidth and you need to have more bandwidth, or it's just some user consuming it and you will need to maybe limit that type of consumption. See your thresholds before it impacts the end users, and maybe before some of them are not having services, or let's say they are not able to do their WebEx configuration, their WebEx meeting, because someone else is consuming all the bandwidth. It will be something important. Also, having your customers not having enough resources to use whatever you offer to them as a services is a bad thing, and you will want to prevent that. Delays are something that everybody studying the usability, even in a website nowadays, 90 and more than 95 sometimes, depends on the services which you are offering to your customers, are offered to them via mobile devices. And even on a website usability, when it comes down to knowing a new service, if a customer is not happy with the performance of the website, and if it doesn't come to your contacts as fast as they want, they will just go to the next one. So that's fast and easy are the two things that you will want to have. And then in order to have them, you will want to have a system that will show you if you don't have them. You will want to know if your users are not able to arrive, or not only your external customers are not able to use your services as fast as it should be, as fast as they want to be. So you will want to track and prevent the delay and the lag. Monitor the device configurations in that terms will be as important as everything else, because set the configurations and keep them in the way to be not only security compliant. This is a term that everybody nowadays are concerned of, because technologies grow faster, usability grow faster, intelligence of whoever wants to use every security breach is enough big and grow faster. So you will want to keep all the configurations under control. Keeping them under control means that you will want to monitor them. You will want to monitor if something is failing. You will want to monitor if something is changing. You will want to monitor if there are errors. If you want, you will want to also monitor after an upgrade if something is failing, and you will want to be able to just with 2 clicks to roll back, to have a backup of the configurations, and to be sure that everything's under control. Be sure that everything's under control means, in terms of network monitoring, that you are able to see, you are able to act upon, and you will be alerted if errors occur, so that you can act upon before something has failed and failed really bad. So configuration monitoring is as important as every application traffic and log management out there in terms of network. And then we come down to the logs. Configuration and logs are related both because every network infrastructure comes down to having good, configuring good the infrastructure, the devices, so to be able everything to be working smooth. And then monitoring logs, you will want to monitor. The logs are really huge thing, consume space, consume time to dig into them, and are not the best thing that no administrator wants to dig. But logs are really saving big headache when you need to identify some complex issue, and are helpful in terms of every administrator knows that digging into logs can help you prevent issues that seem really too complex to be identified in any other way. I said before the example of the bandwidth consumption. It was dig to a simple misconfiguration of a user account, which has the administrative, which has been left with privileges, with administrative rights to use certain resource, and there were too many log attempts from that account, but not intentionally. It just comes down to the type of account that it has been set. So monitoring, having a tool that can alert you when this happens and can point you out the account or the machine from which this is going is a really time and headache saving. So this can sometimes a little dig can prevent a big issue. So this is in terms of log monitoring. And yes, we have that type of tool, which is we have a powerful network monitoring tool. WhatsUp Gold is our network software monitoring, which allows you to monitor at a glance the whole infrastructure with the application, with the user experience, and it's also totally customizable and flexible. We build it in such a way that after the installation, WhatsUp Gold allows for ready-to-use monitoring to a really simple discovery process, which discovers everything which is connected to the network, not only by IP address, but also just using a host names to of the devices. It is able to monitor not only devices, but also applications, the traffic, the logs, the configurations, the virtual machines, the cloud infrastructures, and so on. So to be able to see really the big picture. It's powerful tool because it allows you to troubleshoot directly from one interface, to see everything in one interface, and to customize not only the alerting, to have also the actions. So maybe you have some Active Directory service failing, not the whole server. The tool allows for customization, and maybe I don't know, at 2 a.m. at the morning, some Active Directory Kerberos service is failing. Setting up an action will mean that you will be able to see in the morning when you wake up that the tool has restarted the service is up and everything's running, and you will just know that something has happened, but there's not affecting not users, not machines, and everything's going smoothly. It's automated and easy customized in terms of reporting. So everything which collects in terms of information, it's shown in an easy way, to be understood not only from the IT team. It's exportable, and it's possible to be used from any other team that will need some information to be emailed. Let's say every Monday you will need, or you will want to email a general report to the CEO or to the management, so that they can be aware of what's happening, and whether you are respecting your SLAs and so on. It's an easy to deploy tool, and here we have a link to download the trial version. It works. Just install and test the tool so that you can see the capabilities. The trial version is totally functional and allows you to test everything which is out there. It's not limited to in terms of functionalities, and it gives you the whole capability, so you can play around and see what's the WhatsUp Gold capabilities real about. Proactive network, the result of having in one interface, being able to prevent, predict, and see what's happening on the network, being able to troubleshoot, being able to see, is having an eye, and really looking at the network monitoring in such a way that not only allows you to just see the network, but also to act upon and to be able to automate the process, and not dealing with as much as issues they are out there, because issues in the networks, they happen, they will happen, and it's not about will this happen on a network, it's about what we are going to do about that. And what we are going to do about that, why here it states IT seems even more invisible, because when you have a good monitoring system and you really use it, nobody is aware of what you are doing, because you are doing your job at the best way. Then when people know what you are doing, they are like, okay, but there's too many issues, and you are fixing it, but we are aware of that, so what we are paying for. And in terms of IT monitoring, this is really something that important. Being invisible is not the bad thing, it's the good thing about the IT, and it's all about not having the users to know what about is the job. Is just keeping the users happy and all services running, and then what's behind that, it's the IT job. Here is our final slide. We can have if you have some questions, we can start answering them.
Ekaterina, hello everyone. I don't have any questions in the chat at the moment, so maybe let's give a couple more minutes if there are any questions, or otherwise you can contact us and ask us any questions you would like to know and answer our follow-up email. So we will be happy to provide you with the answers. Yeah, so I don't see any questions in the questions and in the chat. So yeah, you can also raise up your hand if you would like to ask. Okay, great. So yeah, I think we can ramp up the session. Thank you so much, Ekaterina.
Thank you all for the time today. In the slides, you will receive after that in the email information about WhatsUp Gold, and also if you have other questions, you can also reach to us in whatever most common way for you. So we'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, everyone.